You ever notice how every time life gets hard, you start wondering if you're even built for this? Like you start something, you're fired up, you're consistent, maybe for a little bit, and then boom, life hits you. Nothing's working, no results, no validation. And in that silence, most men quit. But the truth is, right, that's not failure. That's the valley. And that's where most men never make it out. And look, I've been there. That season where everything you touch seems to just fall apart. You're doing the work, but it's like the world's on mute. No one claps, no one notices, no one cares. You're waking up early, you train, you're trying to build something, but inside you're wondering, what's the point? It's not even about being lazy, it's about being tired. Tired of doing everything right and still feeling behind. Tired of showing up when no one's watching. Tired of feeling like the guy who never gets his break. I know that feeling because I've lived it and I'm living it like most of us are. You see, for me, it wasn't just a week or a month, it was a year of grinding in silence. 12 months of $0, no income. 12 months of people looking at me sideways, thinking, you sure you're going to make it out of this? Are you sure this is going to work? And that's when I learned that the valley isn't punishment. It's the process that forges men. You see, I remember this one night, sitting in my car outside a cafe. I had about $40 left in my account. Now, the plan was to grab a coffee, clear my head, and maybe brainstorm some, new ideas. But when I looked at my balance, I just sat there, didn't even go inside. I just stared at the steering wheel and thought, maybe I'm not that guy. Maybe I wasn't meant to win like that. You ever had that thought? That quiet one that says, maybe it's time to throw in the towel. Maybe it's time to give up. That was me. But here's what I didn't realize back then. The valley isn't there to break you. It's there to strip you down to who you really are, down to the core. You see, when everything's gone, the followers, the validation, the comfort, that's when the real you shows up. And most men never meet him because they quit before they even get there. Now, here's the truth, bro. The valley exposes identity, not your skills, not your strategy, your identity. See, when you say, I'm going to build something, life goes, okay, cool. Let's test that. Let's see what you're made of. You say you want to be disciplined. Okay, well, here's some chaos. You say you want peace. Sweet as. Here's a sprinkle of uncertainty. You say you want strength. Cool. Here's some pressure. You know what? Let's double it. Take that. And most men fold, not because they're weak, but because their identity wasn't built for the weight. They still see themselves as the same guy, the one who gives up when it gets hard, the one who needs proof before believing, the one who only works when it feels good, right? That's why the valley feels endless, because it's not about time, it's about transformation. The moment you stop being the man who needs motivation and start being the man who moves with mission, that's when the valley starts to open up. You see, for me, the shift happened one morning around 4:30 a.m. I couldn't sleep. My mind was racing, bills, doubt, pressure, everything. So I got up, grabbed my journal, and just started writing. I wrote, I'm tired of being halfway in. I'm tired of saying, I believe when I don't act like it. I'm tired of doubting the vision God gave me. And I realized, I wasn't failing because I wasn't working hard. I was failing because I was still fighting like the old me. I was still that guy who needed to see results before committing. I was still the guy who thought discipline was enough without direction. I was still the guy trying to control everything instead of surrendering to the process. You see, that morning I stopped asking for the storm to end, and I started asking for the strength to walk through it. That's what most men do. They pray for strength, but then they complain when life gives them resistance. They want purpose, but they end up running from pain. They want leadership, they avoid being lonely. See, the valley is where God filters men. It's the proving ground. It's where you lose everything fake so you can find everything that's real. Your discipline gets tested, your faith gets tested, your self-talk gets tested. And that's why most men never make it out, because they confuse testing for failure. They think if it's hard, then it must not be meant for me. But it's actually the opposite. If it's hard, it's calling you. If it's lonely, it's shaping you. If it's uncomfortable, it's building you. The valley isn't where dreams die, it's where warriors are born. So, how do you make it out? Well, here's what worked for me. Simple, not easy. Step 1, structure your days like your life depends on it, because it does. Wake up early, move your body, write your thoughts. You're rebuilding your foundation. You can't rebuild your chaos. Step 2, cut every comfort that makes you forget who you are, whether it's porn, junk food, scrolling, smoking, whatever it is, alcohol. Just kill all of it, right? Because all of it kills your masculine energy. Every time you give into comfort, you train your brain to run from challenge. And step 3, anchor your identity in something bigger. So for me, that's God. For you, maybe it's purpose. But you need an anchor, because when life shakes, and it will, you need something stronger than motivation holding you steady. And step 4, speak life. Your words matter more than you think. Stop saying I'm failing, and start saying I'm becoming. Stop saying it's over and start saying it's beginning. Because the man who controls his words controls his world. I'll tell you the truth. I didn't wake up one day with everything just magically figured out. Even now, I still have moments where I question things. But the difference is, I don't live there anymore. I used to wake up anxious. Now I wake up anchored. I used to chase validation, and now I chase alignment. I used to fight for control, and now I move with faith. And that didn't happen because I got lucky. You see, it happened because I stopped seeing the valley as punishment and started seeing it as preparation. And that's when everything changed. And I started getting clarity again. I started creating with purpose again. I started feeling like myself again. Not the version that the world told me to be. And I promise you, when you hit that shift, you'll know it. You'll walk different. You'll speak different. You'll carry peace even when life's chaotic. That's what the valley gives you. Depth. So if you're in the valley right now, if you feel stuck, unseen, tired, don't run. Don't run, bro. Don't go looking for the next dopamine hit. Don't escape through distractions. You need to stay in the fire long enough to let it purify you. The version of you that's meant to lead your next chapter is being forged right now. Not when you win, not when you go viral, not when people clap. Right now. In the silence, in the unseen, in the valley. So here's my challenge to you. Next time you feel like quitting, just say this to yourself. This isn't punishment. This is preparation. Because it is. And this is exactly why I built the 7-Day Masculine Reset. It's not just a routine. It's not some motivational challenge. It's the exact framework that I used to rebuild my identity when I was deep in the trenches, deep in the valley. See, each day focuses on one pillar: the stoic mind, the athletic body, and the magnetic presence. By day 7, you're not just feeling better, you're moving different, you're thinking different. You finally remember who the fuck you are. Now, if I had this back then, when I was rebuilding, I probably would have saved myself months and months of confusion and self-doubt. So if you're ready to stop drifting and finally build something from solid ground, go and grab it. It's completely free. Links in the description below. But brother, I know it's hard. I know the silence feels heavy. I know you're doing everything right and still questioning if it's worth it. But hear me out. It is. Because strength isn't built when you win. It's built when you refuse to fold in the dark. You see, most men never make it out of the valley because they stop walking. They start doubting. They forget who they're becoming. But that's not you. Not this time. You're built for this. You just need to remember why you started. You need to hold the line, walk with faith. And when you make it out, don't forget to reach back and help the next man climb. Because that's what this is really about. Brotherhood, purpose, legacy. So go, walk through your valley like the man that you're always meant to be. Catch you guys in the next one.